ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have this king on the premises tonight. We're going to be talking about a host of things like good evening and welcome to the Poetry of Justice show on yikesradio.com and acceleratedradio.net. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the Poetry of Justice show, this is where social consciousness meets the arts. And what we do is we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying,
yikesradio.com.
Yikesradio.com. Oh my God, I'm having some headphone problems tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Nash is the owner of this proprietorship here at Accelerated Radio. And I always tend to give a shout out to Mr. Nash because if it were not for his brainchild and his dream doing what he so loves to do, it would be difficult for me to do what I so love to do here on the show. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a very special shout out to my sister, aka the benefactor, ladies and gentlemen, Lori G. How are you doing tonight, Lori G?
I am doing great. I'm a little behind in my technical duties, but I'm doing pretty good, guys. How
Awesome
are you,
sauce,
poetess?
sissy. And then from there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give another very special shout out to our sponsorship, G Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen. That's G-B-A-B-B-I-E-S, G Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen. You can get to Chef Mac. That's my nephew family, so guys, want you to check him out. Chef Mac, you can get him on Instagram, and that is G-B-A-B-B-I-E-S catering.com LLC. Check him out, ladies and gentlemen. And then from there, I'd like to give a very special shout out to our other sponsorship, WMPJ Steelworks, ladies and gentlemen. That's a shout out to the man of steel, Mr. WMPJ Steelworks. We thank you so much for all of your contributions and the amazing things that you do and your financial backings to the show. And then further on down the trough, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go on ahead and talk a little bit about APS muscle cars, guys. If you happen to have, let's say for instance, you have some vehicles that you want to have stored, you ran out of space at your house and you want somebody to take care of that for you, we've got some high-end storage facility over here in Signal Hill, California, as well as vehicle restoration. This guy can do pretty much whatever you need him to do: hot rods, low riders, motorcycles, Harleys, that is. So anyway, you want to check him out. That's MEMO with APS Muscle Cars. So we are here in the studio tonight. It's Saturday night. And this is what I love to do here on the Poetry of Justice show with Jackie and Phillips. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Sissy?
I am.
I'm doing great. My microphone is not acting the way I want it to act, but I know, right? Do I sound okay?
We can hear
Maybe
you.
it's just me. Anyway.
Maybe it's your earphone.
Maybe it's my headphones. Let me try to turn those up a
Try
tad.
to get this.
But anyway, we've got an exciting show tonight. We got Facebook in the house, right? We got our YouTube live stream going on. And Rashid, I got it taken care of. I appreciate you so much. The headphones is right on time. And I have a beautiful king in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is an honor for us here on the Poetry of Justice show, as well as here on Yikes Radio. I have Nightmare Stallworth in the house tonight. How are you tonight, King? I haven't had a chance to say hello to you since you've chimed in because I was doing all this pre-recording stuff. How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. No complaints.
Yay. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show tonight. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So what I did, guys, I want to give you guys a little bit of the backstory. So what I've done is on Instagram, guys, you're just doing your thing, ladies and gentlemen. And this gentleman page, if you have not seen his Instagram page, you want to definitely do so. He's going to give us more and more information throughout the broadcast. But it's Change Has Come X. Change has come X. I like the X part, guys. But I want you to check him out because there's so much that we could talk about this gentleman. But for tonight's purposes, Lori and I thought that we would arrange the show around the topics of boxing, because he is a boxer. He is also a business owner, entrepreneur of his very own boxing studio, Stallworth Boxing Academy. And we're going to learn everything from Nightmare tonight about his choices. Yay!
Absolutely.
And how he got there tonight and what it is, his passions and what he does. Then we're also going to talk about our social consciousness tonight, right? Because that's what we love to do here. I love to do here on the Poetry of Justice show. And we're going to talk about things that are very near and dear to this king's heart and to his spirit, and some things about like where we are today, the recent election, number 45, and his behaviors, the new vice president elect, just a host of things just to have a beautiful show tonight with some beautiful black kings and queens and anyone else who follows us. But for right now, we have to make sure that it's for our people as opposed to worrying about other nations. And that's just my opinion tonight. So we're going to just start right there by welcoming again Nightmare Stallworth. How are you tonight, sir?
Thank you. Wonderful, Queen. Listen, listen, have no complaints. It could be 10 inches of snow outside. However, it's clear out there. So I'm happy for now.
We got 10 inches of snow. We got 10 inches of snow. My God. Thank you so much for getting through to us. So let our listeners know where you're calling us from tonight, if you don't mind.
Yes. Come again?
Just going to say, if you could let our listeners know where you reside and, what part of the world you're calling us from tonight.
Yes. Pittsburgh, PA, East Coast.
That is awesome sauces. I'm super duper excited. We've got Facebook going on. People are already ready to talk to you and listen to what you have to say tonight, Nightmare. Lori G, I see you have a notebook full of questions, and I certainly have a notebook full of pages of questions.
Absolutely.
But I'm just going to go ahead and be nice and play fair. Lori, you can have first discussions with Nightmare.
Nightmare, in our pre-interview, I was just so impressed with everything that you've done, how you exist in the world, your thoughts and your beliefs. And for me, who has spent a lot of time studying psychology and been trained in that discipline, a lot of times our socializations and our backgrounds of where we started help to shape the people that we are now. So I'd like for you to take a couple of moments to tell us a little bit about your background, little baby Nightmare. Where did you grow up? What was life like? How'd you see the world?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, PA, Hill District. I was a kid, an average kid, wanted to have fun. I come from a background, my mother had a lot of illnesses as a child, when I was a child. My father was in and out of my life. I kind of grew a little hostility at that time, understanding why I didn't have a father or father around. But as I grew angry, my body grew as well. I grew mischievous. There was somebody who was praying for me all along. He actually pointed me in an area where there's an after-school program called the K Boys Club. It's where young boys go to establish discipline and learn how to box. I was always intrigued with the ring since I was a child. I come from a background, I had cousins and uncles who was into boxing. So I tried it, and I must say I fell in love with it, okay? Fast forward, I wound up turning pro. That's how long I stayed in it. Now, don't lose me here. I had an infatuation with the body, human body. So I actually went back to school, University of Maryland, and I got my master's degree in kinesiology. So put it together. Okay, me being a professional boxer, kinesiology. Okay, all right now. I acquired this knowledge, and at one point in time, I was working at a fitness center. And working at a fitness center, I was doing a little bit of everything: nutrition, fitness instruction, designing personal training charts, giving advice. And I realized one thing. I was actually holding approximately 5 or 6 different positions in which I was only getting paid for one. So I said, this don't add up. So now that's when that entrepreneurial spirit came in. I said, it's time to make some changes, okay? So I use this analogy. A lot of people, if you've seen an old school movie, I played the spook who sat by the door. So while I
I
was—
love that movie.
I love that
Great book.
concept, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I stole that analogy. It's called Play the Spook Who Sat by the Door, in which you're on site and on hand getting the knowledge silently and secretly because you're planning your escape, but you're going to take the knowledge and information with you to do it alone to empower your people, because I am a nation builder. Now, getting to nation building, I am a Pan-African nationalist, a new age Garveyite, a manta is what they call them. So if you talk about nation building, entrepreneur, you're talking about fitness, you're talking about self-defense, conflict resolution, impulse modification, all in one ball. Now you got Chris Nightmare Stallworth. Nightmare, well, guess what? A dream is something that you can, to a certain degree, that you can control. A nightmare is what you can't control. And so I have a different narrative also. Thought-provoking, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, while provoking thought in the process. Last but not least, I had some very good mentors who taught me mannerism and how to be a man, an alpha man, not just a regular man, but a man's man. You know, so I move by that, I live by that. All of my posts are surrounded around it, you know. And when you speak about alpha male is not arrogance. Alpha male is assuming that position that a man is supposed to do, everything it takes to be a man, and help lead other men to become men as well, right? And to complement that queen so we can balance the universe.
To balance the universe. I have a question for you, Chris. Excuse me, Nightmare. Jeez. Pan-African nationalist. When did you, what phase of your life did that spark you? And when did you begin?
Okay, approximately, this is 2020. 1999, I ran into a good friend of mine. And we were just talking and things of that nature. And so, you know, I study all religions: Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, etc. But these are so many sectors of separation. So I'm figuring, I respect the laws of all religions, but there was something that was missing, because it didn't matter if I was a Muslim, 5% nation, a Jew, a Christian. There's some of the same racism going on. So the thing is I said, what is really going on? Understanding my background, and I derived from Africa, I became intrigued about African spiritual system. I sat down with a good brother who gave me some literature on it. And I later on I was appointed to join the Mantas. I took a pledge to the Mantas of Pan-African nationalism. And basically the rules of that is like a Garveyite. The answer for us has to be by us, with us. We have to trust in us. And also, I looked at the old Black Wall Street, and I studied that, and the togetherness and how they did it. And so me as a nation builder, as a Manta, that's actually my goal, to connect with more people similar to my mind frame, who really understand the magnitude of our African spiritual system and everything that derives around it. The nation build, to rise up a new nation. Some people call it New Jerusalem. I like that idea as well.
That is intriguing. Gerald, I see. How are you tonight, Big Tapper?
Oh, sorry for the beginning, guys. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Chris, man. I'm getting into it, man. It's like I had to, before I came on tonight, I had to open some doors. I'm in a hotel, Chris. I had to open some doors for some people, but I'm here now, and I periodically might have to go back and forth, but I'm trying to give you all my attention, brother. But yeah, welcome, Chris. It's good to have you. And hello,
Respect.
Rashid and Jackie and Lori. I love you guys, man. I just got swamped, and sometimes it happens like that. At the same time, I got some business to take care at the time of the show. It's just, but I hurry up and got it done, and now I'm here. Yep. You
Bring
got a nice
laughter to your
setting.
chat.
You got a nice setting. You got a nice background there, Chris, man. I like the way you set that up, brother. It looking good.
Appreciate it. Just laid back, man. It's comfy. That's it.
My man. Yep. So, and what was you just giving a little brief discussion of your life or how everything came about? That was
Yeah.
how everything came about, my man. Interesting, brother. Very interesting. And it seems like you went through a lot of different channels, man. You got mentors and all that. It seems like we have a little bit in common. We have a little bit in common. I'm just, it seems like a little bit when you told me you was a 5%er, but not to be confused with the Israelites, right?
Correct.
At all. You know, you're just a 5%er. I meant to get that speech that I heard from the brothers. Are you familiar with Brand Nubians?
Absolutely. No question.
Oh, no question.
Lord Jamal, Grand Poobah.
Lord Jamal, yeah, Lord Jamal, Grand Poobah, and then how they come up with that one song, and when they chant the 5% of the nation on the one song, that was the coolest thing I ever heard in my life. I had to know a little about it.
Hey, let me tell you a secret. It's no longer a secret. Okay, I respect the words. When you say the word, whether we're talking about the Quran or the Bible, sometimes words can be misconstrued, depending on who's the narrator, okay? Two things you can never, ever, ever change, no matter whose mouth it's coming from: science and mathematics. Doesn't matter. 2 + 2 is gonna be 4. 2 times 2 is gonna be 4. In science, if you put a magnifying to something right, the sun is still the sun, rain is still the rain, no matter who's narrating it. Always remember that, science and mathematics.
Science and mathematics.
Yeah, Class 13X broke it down a long, long time ago. Science and mathematics applies to everything in life.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? That's common sense, and it's also, you know, you broke it down. You make it easy. Someone need to break it down to this bum Donald Trump, man. Science and math. You know, someone need to break it down to that dude. Yeah.
Oh man.
And he's over.
It's a wrap. Yeah,
He's over. It's a wrap for him.
Thank God for that.
It's
You
a
know,
wrap.
Chris, you talked about some points that may be common knowledge for a lot of our listeners, but for some of our listeners, these may be new terminologies. And it would be great for you to spend a couple of minutes by defining and explaining, starting with a 5%er.
Mhm.
What does that mean? And what is that?
Okay, 5% nation. Number one, we believe that 85% people are uncivilized, easy led in the wrong direction, and fed poison. 10% know better, and they are the oppressors of the 85%. Then the 5% supreme being people, righteous, knows the truth, and don't believe in the poor lies and the teachings of the 10%. And we desire to raise up to 85%. And so we believe in freedom, justice, equality. Last but not least, when people say the word Islam, and it's not necessarily a Muslim, it means peace. Religion is a peace. So a lot of people misunderstand that. So that's basically what the 5% nation is. The people who don't believe in the poor, ignorant lies that are told to the 85%, and who don't abide by the oppressive laws that the 10% put out there.
And so is being a part of the 5% nation, is that an individualized choice? How, say in Christianity, you accept Christ as your savior and you're in control of that? Or if you're a 5%er, are you invited in to that small circle?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that as well. As a 5%er, anyone is invited to that, but you also have to confess about the 85% of the people who are lost, and the 10% of people that you know that's unrighteous, that try to mislead the 85%. So no one's actually excluded.
Wow, I didn't know that level of detail. Thank you so much, Nightmare. I appreciate that. Nightmare, I'm sorry, what did you
That's
have?
okay.
Go
I'm the
ahead.
nosy
No,
one,
go ahead.
Chris. You'll know, you'll learn that about me. I got so many questions, right? Because I'm nosy. So,
But
the 5% nation, is that, does that cross against ethnicity and race, or um, is it just African Americans, or is it anyone who believes that the 10% are oppressive of the 85%?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Go
I'm
ahead.
glad to clarify that if it wasn't clear. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want us to take a look at the history of boxing. Can you help us out with that, Nightmare? If you could help us out with the history of boxing. I did my little basic research online today, being that it's a combat sport between two people throwing punches at each other for a predetermined amount of time in a boxing ring, right? We talked a little bit, well, I looked a little, did a little bit more history, and it says that it dates back to Egypt around 3000 BC,
Hmm.
introduced during the ancient Olympic Games by
Hmm.
the Greeks in
Yeah,
the in the latter part of the 7th century BC. Does that sound about accurate to you, Nightmare?
yeah, almost accurate. Listen real closely. The very first boxer, his name was Boda Harma, and how boxing came to be from Boda Harma. It was a ancient African guy who had to surround himself around animals that had to survive. So he emulated animal styles in a form of art. So that he can one time at one moment play dead. He said emulate styles to go from region to region to region without being trampled. Boda Harma, he was the very first boxer.
Mm.
All of a sudden, Boda Harma started teaching other Africans how to move along between regions with animals so they wouldn't get killed and trampled upon. Then later on became pugilism,
Right.
then became sweet science. Here I go, here I stand. I just fell in love with it.
You did. Did you fell in love with it, or you think it found? Well, put it this way: did you find it, or did it find you?
You know what? I can honestly say it found me. I'm gonna tell you why. I like to do other things, like play football, basketball, but I realized one thing about me. There was something that was existing inside of me. At the end of every basketball game, I had this hostility, this anger I had to get out that wasn't resolved through the basketball game, which was fighting. At the end of a football game, I had this anger inside of me that wasn't resolved, period. And I realized one other thing, right? For some odd reason, when I was young, I was running my whole life and didn't know where I was running to or running from, but it was actually inside of me. When I hit that boxing ring, all of a sudden everything was channeled. It was instant impulse modification. Everything changed. My self-esteem, my self-awareness, my body, my mind, actually through that, my compassion for others, my desire to want to know more about the body and fitness, and these endorphins I was experiencing, which was making me a better person. And I couldn't wait to go tell someone else about that so they could feel the same thing. So the same people that I was angry towards, I became loving towards because everything inside of me was resolved.
That is absolutely beautiful.
That
To be
is.
right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh
Sissy.
no, I was just commenting.
I know.
So
Wow. Go ahead, Drew.
speaking of boxing, it's a great fight on after the show tonight. We're gonna get right to
Yeah.
Earl
Oh,
fighting
About Errol
Danny
Spence
Garcia.
and Danny Garcia.
Oh,
Who y'all got?
absolutely.
Who you got?
I got Earl Spence, my brother. And I'm from Philly. But my boxing knowledge tells me that Earl Spence is gonna win now. I don't think Danny can deal with that heat, brother. Yeah, and Danny's nice. Earl better better be on his A game, but
Yeah,
Earl Spence is another animal. You
I
know?
totally agree. Earl Spence, if he's healthy, because he was in a recent car accident,
Right,
he's
right,
an excellent puncher, good body puncher. He's fast, he's strong, and he's actually naturally bigger than Danny Garcia.
right, right.
You know the old school rule: a good big man will always beat a good small man.
Who's your favorite boxer right now, Chris? Who are you really enjoying and like representing and like as being a teacher of boxing? Who do you think out there is putting out a great example?
Terrence Bud Crawford.
See, that's your guy. See, I like Spence over Crawford, but all my homies it's either Crawford or Spencer.
Yes.
Spence.
Yes.
Yeah, but you like Bud. Yeah. But you see, I don't think Bud, I'm going to tell you what I think that makes him, puts my guy over him a little bit.
Oh.
Bud Crawford cannot take a punch, brother. That, you know, you hit him, you know what I mean? He showed that his legs is not going to withstand. Littler guys that had him in trouble. So,
yes.
So that's the only thing about Terrence.
Yes.
But you know, Spence, I seen him in wars. This last war I seen him in with Porter. That just took me to another level with Spence. Because Porter's.
I tell you what, Bud Crawford, I've seen him get hit on the chin, flush, by making it irresponsible. Because I believe he's spoiled by his skill. So he made a couple of irresponsible moves and got hit and got hurt. However, he showed me, he's one of the very few fighters right now, showed me that he goes in overgear, overdrive, a whole nother level than a lot of other fighters at that particular time that I ain't seen since Marvin Hagler. And so, honestly, I could be wrong, but I believe if he does face Spence, it's going to be like similar to that Mayweather-Diego Corrales fight. Corrales was a monster. He was hitting hard. He was fast. He was a monster. But Mayweather had that extra gear, and he knew how to manipulate space and fractions of a second.
You think Spence would have? You think Spence could deal with a fighter like Porter?
Styles make fights? I believe so.
Okay. All right.
I believe so.
What you say, Jerry? Okay.
Porter's is always coming, man. He's relentless. He's just coming. I don't know if Terrence can deal with that heat, man. I mean, Porter's an animal.
Did you see the blueprint when Kell Brook? Did you see the blueprint when Kell Brook designed him how to beat Sean Porter?
Yeah, he did. Kell Brook, and you're right about
that jab. Now, what about when he switched? Southpaw jab, back to orthodox jab. He showed me something.
Looking at you, though, and hearing you, I think your overall greatest boxer had to be my man, Andre Ward, right?
I love Andre Ward, but I tell you one thing. I'm a fan of the greats. When I say greats, my favorite two fighters of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson, then Muhammad Ali. They epitomize footwork, poetry, emotion, speed, charisma, athleticism, outspoken outside the ring, social justice. I mean, a whole nother level. Right. I still study Ray Robinson to this day.
Nice.
I have to interject here because, see, I did a little bit of homework, guys. So, yes, right? Trivia. So what I did is I did a Google search on the greatest boxer of all time. So let's just go down the list. Let's go down our list, guys. So number one, they say, is Floyd Money Mayweather is the number one boxer of all time. I should have went from the other direction. Number two, Danny Pacquiao. Currently a Senator Pacquiao in his
no, but he's not the
Manny.
I don't know what list you got that from.
I'm telling you, if you Google it right now. Number three, Carlos Monzon, Monzon, Argentinian.
Carlos Monzon, yeah, I know him too.
Argentinian playboy. Okay. Then number four comes in Muhammad Ali.
Number
greatest.
Four.
Can you believe it?
I don't believe
we can
that
talk about
all.
it. We can go there.
No.
Number five. Number five.
May Rashid protest.
Sugar Ray Robinson. Number
he
6.
Should be number one.
Absolutely.
Bernard Hopkins, the executioner.
Come on.
Joe Louis comes in at number 7 as the Brown Bomber.
Who's listening to that? Who's listening? You from?
I just Googled. I just went to Chrome and I Googled.
Hold on.
You gonna pull it up, Rashid?
Hold on. I'm pulling it.
Okay. Number 8.
Rashid is in protest.
Is Archie Moore, the mongoose. Archie Moore. Okay. Number 9, Oscar de la Hoya.
Oh, come on, man. Stop that list. Don't even finish that.
Yes. Don't even finish. Listen, whoever put that list together should be under investigation.
I know. Right, she
under investigation.
I was like, what? Would Mike Tyson not be on this list?
Why didn't Tyson make the list?
What is your thoughts on that, Nightmare?
You know what? Tyson, he was an overachiever because how small he was. I'm talking about in terms of height. Overachiever as far as speed, power, and things like that. But I was actually listening to a podcast at one time, and I totally agree. He broke it down ever so clear. Teddy Atlas said, one thing he didn't have is mental fortitude. That's one thing he didn't have. And it takes a lot of mental fortitude. See, when you're blessed physically, that's one thing, and you're spoiled off of your power, your finesse, right? But when that wall comes up, like an Evander Holyfield wall, and a person, you can't break their will, it takes a whole nother level of mental fortitude. And that's when he fell short at. He was either, he would snap, or he would foul out, or he would, or everything would change.
Well, you were getting ready to say something about Andre Ward. I want to hear what that was you was going to say.
Andre Ward, I love Andre Ward. Andre Ward, honestly, will probably be in my top, somewhere in the top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Yep, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Rashi, what you got?
Did you find a different list, Rashi?
Who's the best fighter from Philadelphia? I mean,
I'm looking at
the best
your
fighter
list.
from Pittsburgh.
What, you see the same things I saw, huh?
Yeah, I see the same thing, but they don't have Mike Tyson in the top 50.
They don't even. He's not even the top 50.
Who's the best fighter from of all time from Pittsburgh?
The best fighter of all time from Pittsburgh, I'm going to be honest with you. That's a very, very, very hard. I'm going to tell you why. Before I tell you my opinion, okay? Pittsburgh has so many different sides to it that a lot of guys from Pittsburgh were celebrated because they had maybe financial backing, where guys was more talented, didn't get a chance to see them. But I would say the greatest ever was Charlie Burley.
Charlie, but I never heard of him.
Never heard of Charlie Burley? He was, well, I'm gonna tell you, when you get a chance, Google Charlie Burley. He's the one that Sugar Ray Robinson would not give a shot to because when he sparred him, he was a spoiler. Charlie Burley. He's legendary. The late great Emmanuel Stewart, before he died, talked about Charlie Burley. He talked to two people in Detroit about who Charlie Burley was to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Okay, so I found
Charlie.
a different list, a different top.
But you did see some of mine, right?
Yeah, in fact, I saw the list that you found.
Okay.
But
okay.
They're questionable. I'm going for.
Did you say they're questionable?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going with the Bleacher Report because with Bleacher Report, number one, they have Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yes.
Yes.
Number two, Henry Armstrong.
I can respect that.
Number three, Willie Pep.
Charlie Burley.
Pep's the top 10.
Number four, Muhammad Ali.
Number
Absolutely.
4.
Number 5, Joe Louis.
Absolutely.
Number 6, Roberto Duran.
I can see it.
Number 7, Jack Johnson.
I can see it.
Number 8, Jack Dempsey.
I don't know.
Number 9, Benny Leonard.
Where's Julio Cesar Chavez at?
He's not here.
And then number 10, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Number 10.
Number 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you agree with that, Nightmare? Number 10?
I agree Sugar Ray Leonard should be in there, but not 10. I give him at least about 6, 7.
And Tad, to answer your question, Julio Cesar Chavez is at number 19 on this list.
Oh my God. Daryl Barnes from Facebook says
the greatest Mexican fighder ever to me. Ever.
Julio Cesar Chavez, yeah.
Yep.
No,
And
but I don't know, but
George Foreman, number 20.
Daryl Barnes says from our Facebook listeners tab, he just wanted to let us know that he says he's bet anything that the list of the greatest boxers of all time was not created by Black people. And yet we do dominate the ranks of that. So I just want to interject. I'm sorry, Daryl. Go ahead, bud.
No, he was saying Julio Cesar Chavez, and I agree. But for his career as of late, I gotta put, believe it or not, Chris, I gotta put Canelo in there.
I like Canelo. I like Canelo. Honestly, I would put him at least in the top 15.
So where are you fighting at now? What weight right now?
Right now, I'm 2 218, 220. I fought cruiserweight my whole career, but now I'm as heavy as I've ever been, 220.
So you going in the ring as you?
Heavyweight.
I mean, once you train and everything, you going in the ring as heavyweight.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Uh-oh.
I'm a very, very, very unusual guy. I say that, I tell people, they call me a freak of nature. I'm the guy who trained every single day of my life, so I'm never out of shape. So the thing is, I never get big and never get small. I remain the same weight. I run 7 to 10 miles a day, every day except for Sunday. So I've been the same weight for approximately 36 months. Never been over 220, never been no less than 215 for the last few years. And I feel fast, I feel strong, I feel confident. Yet I'm forever young. And I ain't gonna throw my age out there, but if you Google me, it's not hard to tell. Listen, I'm in the gym sparring guys in their 20s and their 30s. Yes, I am in my odd 40s, right? Guess what? You couldn't tell. Now, this is what I did do. When I went to the hospital, they got my EKG, CAT scan, and my reflex test. He told me my vitals come back of a person 25 years old.
Okay.
That's that wisdom and the ascended masters.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4".
You 6'4"?
I'm 6'4".
Oh man, you might do damage. And you your arm length is what?
84 inches.
You might hurt somebody. Yo, my man, if your jab is on point, you can do damage. Do you need a manager?
Hey, listen, let's talk, right? Guess what? I live by the jab, so I don't have to die by not having a jab.
I know some old heads in Philly that love you, man. Right down at the James Schuler boxing gym. You know who James Schuler is?
Yeah, absolutely, the legend. Hey, listen, guess what? May he rest in peace. This year, my trainer, Mahdi Bilal Muhammad, the one who knocked out Matthew Saad Muhammad for the light heavyweight championship of the world, he passed away this year. And
he told me.
So I study all the greats from Philadelphia.
Unbelievable.
This is wild here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
The Fletcher brothers and all that.
Absolutely. Legendary.
At least in this list that I'm reading, at least have Mike Tyson at number 46.
Number 46, and that's the top 50, top 50?
Yeah, that's top 50.
Once again, they should be on investigation, whoever put that together.
Yeah.
I know, it's like, oh my
You know what, Nightmare? I'm interested in knowing. I did not see the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones comeback fight.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
But I'm interested in knowing your thoughts about that. And even if you thought it should have happened, should they have both come back?
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Tyson and Roy didn't come back, what would the world want to see them? Drinking, getting fat, smoking marijuana, getting high? If they love to do it, let the guys do it. Now, if the crowd paid for it, that's on them. But I believe everyone should have an opportunity to do what they love. Guess what? I'm gonna be honest with you too, right? Fighters don't retire. The fight game retires us. Always remember that. We don't quit, it quits us. So what happens is, you don't get old from boxing. You get old when you stop boxing. That's when you get old. So when you stop boxing, that's when you get old. But when you're boxing, you don't get old. But as far as them competing against each other, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was entertaining. I know they both were a shell of each other. They was a shell of the regular self. I know that. Guess what? I was down there with Roy Jones at Tommy Yankello's gym in Pittsburgh. So I got a chance to, so I seen what was what, and hey,
Good thing with him, huh?
Yeah, but he definitely didn't look the same as after he got his ribs cracked. Yeah. Mike Tyson broke Roy Jones' ribs during that fight.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, the report came back, his ribs is broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, so Nightmare, I just have to say, I just want to put on the table. Sometimes, isn't it better to finish while you're on top? So that is the memory that your fan base has, and that becomes your legacy.
Yes.
Opposed to someone who is a former shell of themselves.
At least it wasn't Nate Robinson.
Before we go to Nate Robinson, I definitely want to elaborate on that. I'm gonna tell you what happens. Tell you what happens. There's nothing more important than identity and legacy, because you don't want that tarnished. But the dangerous thing is when the fighter doesn't have it no more, but he still have a burning desire inside of him. Those guys should become a trainer and put that same fire that they experience inside someone else. And a lot of times, they might be not as articulate as a trainer as their burning desire as a fighter. So that's the thing that we actually wrestle with. Number one. Number two, Nate Robinson, I don't blame him. I blame his corner. I'm gonna tell you why. Someone should have been wise enough to tell him basketball and football doesn't translate. And I don't mean to sound silly. That's almost like me telling you guys, hey, listen, I'm gonna get some recipes to learn how to make some dressing for a turkey because I decided I'm gonna make baked macaroni. So it's like, huh? You don't train for basketball to get ready for boxing. You don't train for football to get ready for boxing. That's like saying, hey, I'm going ice skating so that I can play football tomorrow. It's like, huh? And I blame his corner for that. They got him hurt. And he became the biggest meme in the history of memes after that. No good.
Let's just look at the dirt here for a second, right? Do you think this Tyson-Jones fight was just all about publicity and money? Do you really think they were in there fighting, or were they just kind of dancing around the ring?
Oh, it was an expedition, but
it was an exhibition.
It was a hard expedition.
It was a hard sparring session. Basic sparring session, a hard one.
Yep. Because tell that to John Jones' broken ribs. And now he got Evander Holyfield calling out Mike Tyson right now.
Yes.
Holyfield's gonna fight Tyson.
He's calling him out.
He's calling him out. And so is Shannon Briggs.
How old are these people?
Yikes radio. He wants the other ear. No.
And then you got Jake Paul trying to call out Conor McGregor and Dylan Danis, who are UFC fighters.
Oh, I don't like UFC fighting.
Yeah, Jake
Paul question.
Knocked out.
What do you think about that?
What are you gonna
But
say?
see, now he think he can beat real boxers now. And I'm not saying Conor McGregor's a real boxer, but he's not that bad.
That's right.
Conor McGregor will knock that bull out. See,
I agree. He got a beautiful stand-up. He got a lot of experience and got a beautiful stand-up with his hands.
He just had a bad matchup against Floyd.
Yeah. He was in the fight against Floyd. Floyd knew what he was doing.
He did a bad job against Floyd. That dude can fight, and I can't wait if that happens. Shoot.
I tell people all the time, you don't play boxing. So you get these internet sensations and they become popular from likes, and all of a sudden they got the whole world watching them, but they never, when it was snow outside, they never went out there and got 10 miles. Okay, when their body was aching, that's when the fight starts, when you're tired. They didn't put that work in. They get all smiles. And I come where it's grimy at, it's rough, right? The trenches, right? It was a situation. I had a guy, big, strong, muscle-bound guy, came to my gym. Never did boxing before, but allegedly said he was a good fighter in the streets. Then I had a guy who wasn't so strong, but guess what? I spent time with him on technique. And he said, I'm gonna knock this guy out, right? I said, well, listen, I'm gonna have you sign a waiver so you can spar him and see what you're gonna do. Now, this big, strong guy thought in his mind, because he got the strong exterior, that he's muscle-bound, he's strong. Guess what? It don't translate to science and mathematics in the form of skill. And guess what? The smaller, fragile-looking guy who had more technique and more time doing this made the big guy miss, and then basically pulled back and spared him after the big guy was tired and hung over like this here. And he said, I spared you. I could have hurt you. Right. There's nothing you can do. Or you ain't got no endurance or no win. And so I told people, right, you don't play boxing. This is serious. You got to put in the work over and over and over. And guess what, right? This is a habit sport. You got to do this a couple 100,000 times so it could be habitual, so it can come by second nature. You can't just walk in the gym and do 2 or 3 things and think you can get inside of a boxing match. It wouldn't be sweet.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But I'm going to tell you something that you might get upset with me, brother. I'm going to give you my most overrated boxer that I think is. And that is Chris Manny Pacquiao. I think he's the most overrated boxer. And you know what I mean? I just think,
yeah.
I mean, I know boxing enough to say they giving this dude just like Triple G. He's a number.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
another overrated boxer, man.
Yes. Yes.
Dudes ain't really got the skills like they say they have.
Yeah. I
They
was
got
never ever crazy about. I was never crazy about Pacquiao. I thought he was fast and strong, but he was clumsy and wild.
right. He was clumsy and wild, man. I just didn't get that. Why everybody was so crazy about him. And the same with Triple G. Triple G was fighting nobodies. He was knocking out a lot of brothers, but they was bums.
I got a question. What's your opinion on Deontay Wilder?
A bum. I used to like him too. I used to like him, but he's a bum.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I think he has A+ power, but D- skill. D- skill, A+ power.
No skill. And you know what? And you know what? Tyson Fury, he showed him that he's suspect. Tyson Fury showed that.
Right.
You know what I mean? He got a lot of mouth to me, Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury can fight, man.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And if I was to compare Wilder to anybody within the UFC, it would be Francis Ngannou, who has the actual power, because because don't get me wrong, they both have just knockout power where if they catch you with a right hand, you're going to sleep. But then it comes down to technique and actual I'm trying to get close, I'm trying to I'm actually develop your jab and all that.
I think Deontay Wilder has the worst footwork in the heavyweight history.
Yep. And Tyson Fury exposed that, and him trying to challenge Anthony Joshua, that's not exactly going to happen.
I agree. Deontay Wilder tried to blame that on my friend, his trainer, Mark Breland.
Mark Breland, that's my man.
That ain't Mark's fault, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That wasn't Mark. Mark took that dude in and showed him everything. I mean, some people you can't train. Some people just don't have it, man.
I agree.
Question, guys, I have. I'm a novice. I'm learning all about boxing. So, as a trainer, Nightmare, is ability for championship fighters innate? Are they born with something, or is that skill set able to be developed through training?
Now, listen, I think that a lot of fighters got a lot of physical attributes by nature. Well, guess what? They got to put in a lot of hard work. But when you say champion, I believe that comes down to their mindset. The championship is mindset, because adversity rises. So competition gets stiffer and stiffer. So I think it depends on their mind state. But I believe you can train fighters to a certain extent. They have to show you something else. I've seen guys who have talent but are lazy. Then I've seen other guys who are not as skillful but work really, 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 really hard. So I believe it's a mindset also.
Yeah. Well, you know what? With you, I'm gonna tell you an evaluation I have with you, Nightmare. When you hear your name, Nightmare, I know you heard this before. See, me talking to you and looking at you and knowing you now, you look like a debonair, handsome brother. You don't look like a nightmare killer. You look that opposite of your name, brother. So that must be a psychological thing. I got to see what you can do in the ring, because if you a nightmare, you're the totally opposite of when you hear you speak and look at you, and you look like the coolest dude in the world, but they calling you Nightmare. What's that all about?
Hey, well, listen.
Spook who sat by the door. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I play the spook who sat by the door.
That
Hey,
part.
how about Ray Robinson? Boy, he was beautiful. But guess what? When he threw triple left hooks, 11 left hooks, and the person was laying there snoring, see, when you say nightmare, understand something. I'm basically something you can't control. I tell myself I go from 220 pounds to 1,000 pounds. So I mean what I say. I ain't going nowhere. So when I say nightmare, I stand firm in my beliefs in every form of fashion. Unmovable, nightmare. See, basically, let's say nightmare is America has its rules. There's a lot of things that's going on with America that I don't consider agree upon, whether business across the board. The thing is I never ever bite my tongue. So sometimes when I enter the room, people put their head down. So, I wonder what's gonna come out. Nightmare. That's what comes. So I never bit my tongue ever. Never will. And so what's gonna happen is I know this for a fact. I ain't leaving anytime soon. But at my funeral, guess what? The same common denominator. If people go on that mic and say this dude never ever bit his tongue at no cost, whatever it took. Nightmare. The people's champ.
My man, you are you gonna take one to give one, or are you gonna just weave all that? Are you gonna take one to give one? Are you that type of fighter?
I don't believe that. No, I plan on not taking any, but I plan on being horrible enough to take one. I'm not. Guess what? I'm in my 40s. Guess what? I don't plan on taking that unnecessary. But guess what? Because you know what I mean. I understand. I signed for that.
I got
I'm gonna make you pay. I'll make you pay. If you say pretty face, I'm gonna make you pay for touching his pretty face. You got to pay.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm sissy.
Well, I wanted to switch reels just a little bit because I was so very inspired in our pre-interview when we talked about your entrepreneurial spirit and your thoughts and desires that entrepreneurism amongst the African American community is vital and very important. So can you tell us a little bit how you became a gym owner and an entrepreneur? How did you follow that path? What were some of your hurdles as well as your successes?
Okay, so I basically got tired of working for everyone else and being told when to clock in, when to leave. I need permission to call off if I got a headache, if I'm tired. And the thing of that nature is, if I knew I had the knowledge to do it for myself, I had to step out on faith, which is most important. Let me tell you something else. There was a particular place I was working for called Planet Fitness. And I love what I do, but I didn't like the pay they were giving me, and I didn't like a lot of things I was seeing. Okay, fast forward, right? I am a community-based person. And basically the Planet Fitness, the location wasn't basically for the community. So when I said, I want to do something for my community. I'm leaving my community to go to the other side to do something for a person who wouldn't care if I live or die. I'm on the side of the road, who wants to tell me, hey, you're late today. So I do remember one point in time, I won something called the T-Max of Excellence Award. It was a personal training award out of all the personal trainers in the region. And I was looked at as the greatest thing in the world. But guess what? When I had a headache and I couldn't show up for 2 or 3 days, I was the worst thing in the world. I said, dang, wow. How does that translate? I didn't like that. I'm gonna tell you something else. I've witnessed a lot of racism. Also, okay, I witnessed me driving past a lot of young boys who need me, kind of like how I needed that elder when I was young, who got a lot of anger and hostility and things like that. And I knew I had to be there for them because I understand how they feel. I was once them, okay? Long story short, I talked to a good brother, I can't say his name on camera for obvious reasons, who has his own company, own business. He said, Stallworth. He said, you need to take time out and invest in your own. I said, well, brother, I don't know. He said, step out on faith. You got the knowledge. Let me help you with this. And it was liberating when I realized that I can help my people. Okay, I can use my background, my educated background for my own prices and come and go as I please and empower people also to do what I love to do and incorporate boxing as well as fitness. Okay, the hurdles was I was dealing with a lot of have-nots, I should say. People really who couldn't afford training and things of that nature. Or let's say people who used to say, oh, come on, Nightmare. Let me get a free membership, but let me hold something. Oh, we brothers, we cousins. I got a lot of relatives and I got my own now. So that was extremely challenging. And trying to stay afloat and let them know, listen, I know good damn well when you go to work, you need your pay. You got bills due. You got a big overhead. So I know you're letting your partners come on, whether you're in a restaurant and say, hey, let me hold, unfortunately. So It's a good and a bad. I got to weigh it, you know, but it's liberating and it's worth it. And I believe the answer for me has got to be by me. I don't believe an oppressor is going to ever empower you. And I realized when I was working for Planet Fitness, I realized they was never ever going to allow me to own that whole Planet Fitness. So if I'm late one day after doing a good job and my car break down, I'm on the side of the road, or 3 no call, no shows, whatever it may be, they replace you just like that. If I was to die tomorrow, I can't give Planet Fitness to my children, my sons or my daughters. I can't do that. Guess what? They replace you. Hey, we're hiring Joey Smith now. Hey, Chris Stallworth is dead. So I said, wait a minute. I got to establish something now that I can pass down to my son. And he can pass down to his kids. And it can be beneficial for our nation and our neighborhood. For the people, especially the same way I had a lot of anger and hostility to resolve this, because once I resolve conflict inside one individual, and once the impulse modification is modified, all of a sudden now we're nation building, we're not nation killing. And we create a lot of other young bucks with the same mentality, the same spirit, the same desire, the same blueprint.
That's a lot of knowledge.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yes. I remember you said that you were a nephew of John Stallworth.
Come on, Stallworth, the Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. Are you also related to Dante Stallworth too?
Dante Stallworth, yes.
What's Dante to you?
Dante's my cousin. He's down in Florida right now.
Yo, he was a bad boy. Yo, man, you got your family off the chain, man.
Yeah.
Dante, he came down to Philly. He was playing with the Eagles too.
Yeah.
He was a bad boy, man. Oh, that's your cousin, huh?
Yeah, he's still struggling he's still struggling because of, you understand, the vehicular homicide. So he's still battling and suffering from that.
Yeah, you didn't like football, brother?
I love football. I'm gonna tell you
Wide
why.
receiver. Wide receiver.
Listen, my thing was a wide receiver, but guess what? Is there was something still missing after the game was over. And I had so much hostility and anger. I said, this got to be channeled somewhere, some way, somehow. I was gonna go up a spontaneous combustion if I didn't get some action, get some rumbling.
Wow.
My goodness gracious. Where was you going? Oh my goodness. I'm excited. I'm super juicy. You having a good time tonight, Nightmare?
I'm enjoying myself. I love you guys.
I appreciate you.
We love you
so
back.
much.
Listeners as well.
Of course, I know how we've got Facebook. Let me go to our Facebook viewers, but I want to go to this Nightmare, because knowledge, wisdom, and understanding coming from a Black man in America, KKK, is a nightmare. Could you, or would you care to make, just extrapolate a little bit on that, Nightmare? I'm going to say it again. Nightmare in quotations, because knowledge, wisdom, and understanding coming from a Black man in America, KKK, is a nightmare.
Yes. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is very, very important. Knowledge of self is everything. See, America is a stolen land.
Mm-hmm.
It was founded on slavery, rape, and murder, lies, deception, and extortion. So when you look like me and you got a baritone voice like me, you're 6'4", and you walk in the room and you're confident, and then you don't mind having conversation with people. It doesn't matter about your viewpoints on America. All of a sudden, they paint you as a bad guy, rebellious. And so basically that's a nightmare, especially in KKK, because racism is at its all-time highest. It's been here all along, but it's been uncovered, through the president. So say nightmare is, I don't abide by none. I don't believe in none of these laws and these rules that were set by, we was 1/5 of a person at one point in time. So at one point in time, slavery was a law. Slavery was a law. So if you try to escape from slavery, the police can come and kill you, hang you. Think about that. And I knew had I been born a long, long time ago, we wouldn't be talking like that. I would have been the field Negro who would have been dead, because I would rebel until they took me to a grave.
That's some real deal, guys. That's some real stuff, which is why the show is so important to me. And seeing the type of post that you seeing the type of knowledge and information and language that you post on your Instagram definitely sparked my interest and awareness. And it does each and every day. I learn new things, and it's like sometimes it's a source to go to when you're feeling kind of low or kind of wanting to understand where you want to be in this space and in this time. Change Come X has been a go-to for me, if you will. So I am an avid follower. So I appreciate that. And every Naima, if you could let everyone know your handle right now, that'd be a good time too. And we can kind of shout it out throughout the show how individuals can get in touch with you. If you could just go ahead and give that to us.
Yes, Instagram. Change has come 1X. Once again, change has come X. And one other thing I want to elaborate on real quick. We were talking about the 5% nation. Okay, a lot of times when I see my partners and I greet my partners or the queens, I say, peace, God, peace, goddess. And so a lot of times they look at me like that. Okay, whereas if I said to a brother, hey, what's up, my nigga? Now he's greeting me. Hey, or how women greet each other. Hey, that's my BITCH, right? But listen, understand this. When I greet my brothers and I say, peace, God, what's up, God? Or hey, goddess, right? God is the expression of the Most High. God is the expression of the Most High. So when I say peace, God, I'm not actually calling him the Most High. I'm calling him an expression of the Most High. When I call a woman a goddess, your expression of the Most High. So basically, when I say God, I am the law in human form and manifestation. Guess what? When I say goddess, you are the universal mother sent to this earth, the divine portal that can bring man and female in here, the goddess, not the Most High, but the goddess. So a lot of times when I speak to people, when I speak on those terms, a person who's not used to that don't understand that. So that's how we say peace, God, or salute, King, peace, King. But they made it prevalent. People say, hey, what's up, my nigga, and things of that nature. And guess what? What happens is people think that's normal. That's not normal.
I know. Well, look at Gerald. Well, you're pondering over there, Mr. Tapper.
Oh no,
What are you
I mean,
thinking?
even for me at one time years ago, when I first was introduced to it, it was intimidating because when you don't know and you got these brothers, because brothers stand firm, whatever he's reciting or whatever he's preaching about, he means it. And because you don't know and you hear somebody calling someone God, it's like your first reaction is you want to, tell them, listen, you sure you want to say that, or you want to say something about that? Like my man, I'm not God, my man, but what I mean, it's like I never got to
say that. Guess what? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Ironic you say that. Now it'd be a different story if I say, hey, peace, Allah, or peace, Jesus, or how you doing, Jehovah? You follow what I'm saying? But when I say God, I didn't put any name on it, right? So I'm saying peace, God, as an expression of the Most High, but not actual peace, Jehovah. Peace, Allah. Peace, Jesus. It's a total difference. Like when I say the goddess, peace, goddess. A lot of people don't really understand.
I'm gonna tell you something else too, Chris. As years came and as you get affiliated with it, as it become a norm, it sounds kind of cool coming out your mouth.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
It's a king. It's royalty.
So it's like, okay, shit. What's up, God? You got me. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Peace to the gods, baby. That's right.
Me feeling empowered and shit. So you know what I mean, brother? So
change has come, X.
But at first, I didn't. At first, I wasn't. Ignorance is there, man. But
right.
Time went on. I got it, brother. I'm right there with you.
I got a 10-year-old son, baby nightmare, right?
Baby nightmare.
My son in his eye. My son was number 2 in the nation in track. Okay.
All right.
He lost to number 1 guy, right? But before he ran track, I said, "Who are you?" He said, "Dad." He said, "I am the Asiatic black man, the maker, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe." He understood that. And I said, "Son, you're not going to allow the newest people on planet Earth to tell the oldest person on the planet Earth what to do, are you? I don't keep that man at 60 years old, right? You are the oldest of civilization. It came from you, the divine maker, the cream of the planet Earth. My son looked at me and said, Dad, let's rumble. Let's get it in.
That what you
Get
just
it
said is that
in.
you just said that brand newbie in the beginning of that song. I was telling you that. I love that song, brother.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
So cool.
Nightmare, since you talked about your son, and we talked in the pre-interview a lot about your gym and having community outreach, and that's a really big topic and platform here at the Poetry of Justice show. Can you share with us a little bit and let our listeners know how your gym is engaged in the community?
Yes. First and foremost, we are a community outreach program also. We take juveniles from places like the Center for Family Excellence, troubled youth, and show them a better way. We show them discipline and impulse modification. Gwen's Girls is a place located in Pittsburgh for battered and abused women to learn how to protect herself and raise their self-awareness and self-esteem and learn how to protect themselves as well. We also have in Pittsburgh the Black leader African culture as well. And a lot of times people from there are older people, right, who still need to learn fitness ways, learn how to protect themselves and defend themselves. And so we say outreach. I'm actually in position to advocate for juvenile kids or juniors, you know, when they call on me to come to a site or bring them to my site, you know, as a community service thing, so they can help out. I can help them out as well. But we leave our doors open always. Everyone are welcome. And most important is I tell them they have a lot of energy. They got a lot of testosterone. They're misunderstood. As a criminal enterprise that surrounds them, peer pressure haunts them. So they need a haven, they need a place. They need somewhere to go that's not school. They need somewhere to go that's not church. They need somewhere to go that they can resolve this. See, they teach curriculums and stuff for intellectual, right? But they don't teach a school how to resolve emotions. They don't teach how to raise your EQ, which is emotional intelligence. They only teach curriculum. So what if you are getting brighter and brighter and smarter, right? But guess what? Your emotions are not dealt with. That's what a place like my place is for, right? To help modify those emotions. You need an outlet. That's what we provide.
That's amazing.
Lori, I just was wondering, did you want to share with our panelists your commitment to education and community and your background with that? I think it'd be a good share for a good fit.
Yeah, so Nightmare, my sister and I grew up in a family that's definitely emerged in education and a commitment to community. So we come from a family of educators, and we're actually raising a family of educators. Jackie's two daughters are teachers. My youngest daughter has just become a teacher, and my oldest daughter is just set for the bar and has her Juris Doctorate. So we're very proud of that legacy. But when we were little, our parents are like, we have to give back. So we had an after school tutoring program at our home where we helped students who not necessarily were struggling, but kind of when you said they had no other place to go, that definitely sparked within me what the Ray family household was.
Yes.
It was a place where you could come and where you could go and where you could be. And
if you needed a meal, if you needed somebody to talk to, the emotional side of things, consistency.
Yeah, it was always there in our community, and our families were always engaged. And education was always a very important component in our household. And I just want to commend you for being in your community and reaching out that way through my journey with education. I work at a university out here in California, and you may have heard of us. We're USC. And I work there and have been there for going on 30 years now. I got my undergrad and graduate degrees from USC, so I'm a big Trojan, right? But when I arrived there were not many people back when I went to, college in the 1800s that looked like me. And there weren't people who had their arms open and welcoming to invite people who look like me in. I actually was assigned a counselor when I started my journey. My degrees are in counseling psychology and communications. And when I started out, it was electrical engineering. And my advisor at school told me, you know, you're Black and you're a woman and you're just wasting everybody's time. Why are you here?
Mm.
You should go back. And that just landed on me at 18 years old, and I didn't know how to process that. And it took years before I ever shared that story with my family because I had always done well in school. I graduated number 2 in my class from high school out of a group of 700 students. So to be able to be told that you're not worthy
Mm.
at this predominantly white institution was really hard to figure out how to process that and what to do with that. And I think I took those energies and bundled them up. And as I traveled through college, and we had some little bit of troubles there, and adjusting. And I felt a lot of guilt traveling between. We grew up in the city of Compton, so traveling between
Mm.
Compton and going to this established university where I was leaving, you know, my family and my friends, probably more so my friends, because my family was definitely traveling to all of their other institutions. But my friends that didn't get out of Compton, that were still rolling down Crenshaw, you know, in the Nissan trucks and having a good time. And I felt really bad about that. But as things progressed, I was able to take that energy and begin to do socially based programming for high schools and socially based programs for communities, and definitely give back, whether it was doing parent workshops, whether that
I
was
love what you just said.
tutoring. Hmm.
I'm sorry, Queen. When you
Uh-huh.
said social, when you say social, people don't realize what happens is if you don't get a hands-on with people and they have a social life of interaction, what happens is they're on the internet a lot. They're in the TV and it becomes programmed if they don't physically socialize and then socialize their way into a better lifestyle. So that's very,
Absolutely.
very important.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is that my sister encouraged me to develop, along with her, a small production company called Gingy Productions and Entertainment. And through Gingy Productions, my sister is an artist, a poet, and she's written a book of poetry. She does acting and performance, and um, I've supported her journey that whole way. And so through
Good,
Gingy
good.
Productions, we put on a play, a live theatrical production for the city of Compton.
Mm.
And it was their first live theatrical um, venture that the city took on. And it was so beautiful because it provided a place, just as you say, Nightmare, for people to go. And members of our cast were 18 years old, but then they were also 50 years old. So it was people who had dreamed about acting, and now here they arrive. I've worked for the School of Dramatic Art, seems like my whole life now. I think I've been there 21 years, and I've climbed the ranks to the position of vice dean for our school. And for the past, 4 or 5 months, I've been the interim dean because we had a resignation there. So um, I love the performing arts, and to be able to do that, and I directed my very first time through this project. So that was also great to be able to work with people, watch them grow, and channel those energies, as you say, into something
Liberating, man.
that's right,
It's liberating.
constructive for their community. So
Community is everything, and it also sparks the show here in the Poetry of Justice show. As we say, where social consciousness meets the arts. Because one of the things that I'm passionate about, Nightmare, is I'm passionate about poetry. My degree is in criminal justice, and I'm passionate about our people and just I've worked for the homeless services for Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority. I did some work for the homeless in addition to working for different nonprofits. And what I used to do is go into the prison system 3 to 6 months prior to parole release date and meet in person with the inmates to help with reunification plans and making sure that they have some place to go once they're released. All of that was in an effort to stop recidivism, to lower the rate of recidivism, and as well as to stop homelessness. So those are things that are very near and dear and passionate to me. But sadly, it was a little bit of a dangerous career path for me. A couple times I had some inappropriate likings taken from me. So when I was working in Skid Row, because I went straight there, Skid Row, first thing in the morning, every day.
I
On
commend you.
a, yeah, but it got a little wild, and so anyway, my life was was being threatened by one of the guys, and it wasn't safe for me anymore. So what I did after that is I started doing a little bit more community work when I worked for that another nonprofit downtown Long Beach, but things changed a little bit, and so then I went on ahead and found my way into corporate real estate. That was a very interesting
Mm.
segue from homelessness, prison to corporate real estate. And my goodness, if you guys saw the film Wolf of Wall Street, it ain't no joke. I worked for a team of brokers and about 7 guys at one time. I was shackled to. Then I went over to another agency where it was just myself and a couple other brokers. That was an interesting career, but nothing channels me like my social consciousness work. So I'm able to do all of that here on the platform. And like my sissy say, our arts, we're able to bring that portion into. So people who are passionate about what they want to do, here is a place where you can come and get your stories told in places that it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. So I love it. I love what I do. It's nothing like it. So I don't even know how you're talking about boxing. They fell in love with you. Radio found me. You know what I mean? I've worn many different hats in terms of going to the slave plantation, but there's nothing like this. And I know there's bigger and better things in store where that I can get all of my income doing what I love to do. So that's the next step. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Nightmare, for being here with us. You are a encouragement to me, just to me, Jackie Ray Phillips, when I watch what it is that you do and the way that you encourage, because you've encouraged me on many of a day. So thank you so much, knowing that change has happened, change is happening. And I appreciate you as a king, as a brother on this planet, as a spiritual being. And
I
thank
appreciate
you.
you, Your Highness. I salute you, Queen.
Thank you so much. I receive. Right? That's what we
Okay.
got to do. We got to learn to
Absolutely. You
receive
do.
it.
You have to learn to receive. You know, Nightmare, I had a question. I think it all ties in when we're talking about changing our direction, creating places for young people or all people to put emotions, increasing our emotional intelligence. During our pre-interview, you talked about breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what that means to you?
Yeah, there's a lot of curses.
Mm.
There's a lot of dysfunction going on. A lot of things are prevalent in a lot of families. Number one, when it comes to eating habits, we were taught to just survive, and eat the best things we can with the scraps that we have. It became bad for us. And so it chops off a great portion of our life. Or a lot of times it put us in situations of high blood pressure, diabetes, and asthma. And my background dealing with fitness and nutrition, things like that, I want to break that generational curse by teaching people how to eat to live. So number one.
Mhm.
Number two, we work these jobs every day. We rush to leave out. And a lot of times people, get a bad back from sitting behind desks and things of that nature, not stretching, not living the best life. The thing is, I want to break that generational curse by letting them know all it takes is 15, 20 minutes a day. If you do a little walking, a little bit stretching, break that. Okay, generational curses, right? Unresolved conflict or unmodified impulse. What happens is people got to do something. Mostly 9 times out of 10, a person do something outside of self, depending on how they feel about themselves inside. So when you do prevention and you modify the impulse, all of a sudden something positive will come about outside.
Mhm.
But unresolved impulse is going to make someone react the wrong way. They're going through trials and tribulations. And so when I say breaking generational curses, it's a lot of curses. How lack of education.
Mm.
When you know better, you do better. And so a lot of times I might get people say, "Oh, here you go. raving again. I don't want to hear, all I can do is try.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is on Change Has Come X, I'll put up a lot of posts that's thought provoking, make people say, you don't have to believe it, but you're affected. You say,
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put something else. If I can make you go,
Exactly.
that's where the revolution starts here. That's just going to happen outside of here to something that's touched here. So thought provoking. And how do you break generational curses? You get a person to think. And how do you get a person to think who's automatically not going to grasp the concept? You put a post up. They'll see it. You put another one up. All of a sudden, right? If you got a person's attention, now I might go in there one day and have a small post that I physically did with my mouth. So now I got their attention. Okay, now the next time they see me, I'm giving to these little boys and girls. So show them it's a better way. But we got to break these generational curses because, I say this a lot of adults who are stuck in their ways. That's why I really, really, really concentrate on these children because they're like sponges. They're not so corrupted where they're stuck in their ways and they're just stubborn. You can form, you can shape them, you shape their minds, let them know, listen, I'm gonna be old and gray one day. I need you to be my leader. I tell these young boys, a little girl, I'm gonna be old one day. Guess what? A whole nation's gonna come out of you, queen. I gotta raise you up. I even tell people that look at me like I'm crazy. I say, I gotta get y'all ready for my death. So what? I gotta do all I can do so when I die, I did the best job I can and I can lead this nation up. But I gotta sacrifice. So guess what? I gotta break these generational curses by all means.
I love that passion. Jura, what are you thinking right now? Raising young Black men in America. Where does your mind go right now?
Oh, I agree with him 100%. What he just said, I'm going through. I mean, I mean, you can blame me on some of the things that Chris is talking about. I had to change my whole eating habit, all that, Chris. You know what I mean? I mean, you better do it before, hopefully, the bad habits you have don't come at you in a bad way, like Chris said, strokes and heart attacks and whatnot. I mean, it's happening. I have a manager here at the job. God bless him. I want y'all to say a prayer. Brother, 54 years old, man. He's in the hospital in a coma now. A healthy dude, look like me and Chris. Just happened with something. He may have had high blood pressure, they didn't know, but his eating habits. He wasn't a big dude either. He was like, it looked like he was in shape. But the brother, had an aneurysm and then he had a stroke and now he's in a coma. And it's like, wow. And it just makes you think, and you really can't dwell on it because then I get stressed. I'm thinking the kind of person I am, my heart is so big. I'm talking about why him? Why not me? It's like you just get sad, man. And I'm just trying to stay cool, take in positive information, what Chris is giving and what you and Lori are giving. And I just need
Big time. Hey, big time. What about the people who visually look like they're in good health, but they're suffering mental health? They suffer. They suffer.
And the stress and the stressors.
I didn't say because it's not for me to say, but this brother looked good. He was from the Caribbean, but the brother had problems with everybody. He had problems with me, but when someone gets hurt or something like that happens, all that's you throw all that away. You feel bad for the brother. You pay, but the brother had mental problems, man. Yeah. And we used to always tell him, Chris, man, you got to change your ways, my man. You can't jump on everybody about this and about this. Yeah. And you really, lately I've been doing a lot of fall back in myself. I've been changing my whole life around. You just don't know, Chris, man. Listen, a lot of things you saying and a lot of this knowledge you giving, I'm actually doing it right now, man. I've changed. So being on this show and the people we hosted and everything, man, they've taught me so much, and I'm actually doing what I'm learning, man. Yeah. And I became a better person. I know it. I'm still here right now. I'm 58 years old, brother. Wow. And I'm still here right now you know, doing what I do, loving life because of the mere fact I made a turnaround, brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, this is a win-win situation. This show, Jackie and these two ladies is unbelievable. They don't even realize the effect they have in my life. You know, as far as just their attitude and their fun, the way they approach life. I want some of that. And the way they've grown, how they just told you about their life.
Yes.
When I hear stuff like that about how they just kept elevating and elevating, I've done that in a different way, but just their story is just so,
Yeah.
you know,
Those are
inspirational.
our queens right there. We must protect
Yeah.
those ladies right there. Those are our queen. We need
Yeah.
those. Guess what? Listen, I'm in Pittsburgh, man. There's a problem. I'm on the first thing smoking. I'm coming. I need y'all. You understand? We got to protect these women.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what? That's the right attitude. And you definitely need these two, bro. Because I'll tell you, man, I'm latched on like this.
Right.
I ain't letting go, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Shit.
That's right.
Right.
Daryl Reeves and Stevie Johnson.
Rashid is the coolest.
Love
dude.
and appreciate
Hey,
both of you.
I'll be looking at the show. Check it out, man. I'll be looking at the show and I'll be talking and we be getting into everything. But I'll be checking Rashid out. This is the coolest young boy I ever met in my life. Yeah. This dude be sitting up there, and then when he talk, you know, you gotta listen because he got that deep voice, and it's like he know what he's saying, man. And he on the board, like we ain't never ever had a problem with the board ever. This dude is doing his job, man.
He on point.
It's like, damn, you know, I respect him, you know what I mean, yo, this show is incredible, man. And you, brother, you bring in some positivity like tenfold, you know? And I
big chat. When I was on the phone with you, man, I already felt the connection. Guess what? I'm a spiritual man. When I was on the phone with you, I said, listen, God, the Most High don't make no mistakes. You know, but I felt that from the gate over the phone. And ironic you mentioned those ladies. Guess what? There was one point in time when I didn't understand myself. I had so much anger and hostility, so much anger that my sanity was everyone's safety around me. You understand? My sanity was their safety. So had I go off, everyone around me was in trouble, right? And couldn't no man stop me. It was a woman like them, slowed me down. It said, King, what are you doing? Well, she stopped and looked at me. Not a baritone voice, a soft, sensual sound like her. King, what are you doing? This nation needs you. That's all it needed. Tears ran down my eyes. That's all it took. That's all it took. I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is what I see too often. I see a lot of men and women arguing. Okay? Guess what? It's a perfect blend and a balance with a man and a female. But let me tell you what happens, right? The woman has the power right then and there. Not the man. Not the man. But the woman has the power right there to resolve everything to calmness. All she got to do is grab that man and hug him and whisper. As masculine, as loud, and angry, and all that goes out the door. It all goes out the door.
Yeah, man, you just, man.
Uh-oh.
Yo, right there, babe. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you, these girls, just like you just said, I swear to God, they'll tell you. I knew right there you was as big as I knew this show was going to be like it is. Because I even was playing with Jackie and Lori. I told them, why you always got to get these handsome dudes all the darn time? And I'm like, damn, here's another dude. You on outside. I knew I was looking at your promo we put up. I was hearing you. I was hearing, everything was coming together. I said, he going outside. Here, I got another dude out. Every time, I think their criteria to go on the show is outshine Big Tat. I'm not the man no more, Keller. You know what I mean? I'm just part of the show, man. Everybody, but it's a beautiful thing, man. It's like everybody that come on the show, Chris, man, it's like they give wisdom. It's love on the show. and they just know how to just make the atmosphere and just give, you know, what they have to give to make the show beautiful, man. And I thank you, man, and keep on talking, keep on, because we got time, brother. You still got 30 minutes, man. So keep on giving that knowledge reign supreme.
Yeah, man. I really,
Stevie in our
really
Zoom
appreciate
room.
you guys too. I'm enjoying myself, guys.
Thank you.
That's great.
Once again, I'm just a humble vein. That's it. That's it. Guess what? God, the Most High don't need me. The fact that He allowed me to be used, you know what I mean? That's all I need. If He don't give me nothing else for the rest of my life, I'm satisfied for everything He's ever done with me and done for me.
Absolutely. Stevie Johnson in our Zoom room. Hey, Stevie's one of our avid followers. And we appreciate and love him so much. He says, Nightmare, that's a beautiful, great story and knowledge. So thanks for sharing that. He also says that we are royalty. So that's great. Thanks for that. And he says, yes, Rashid, you have to listen. Have to listen to him. He don't sleep. And big ups, Rashid. So thank you so much for that love, Stevie. We appreciate it.
Salute, Steve. Salute.
So Nightmare, I think this is the segment of the show where we we switch reels a little bit, just a little bit, and we want to get to know, you know, Chris, the guy, the man, the not the myth, but I guess the 411, the T. We want to know the T.
Are you married, Chris? That's what they get now. You know, they want to know. They nosy now. Now here go the wrinkle part right here.
Hey, guess what? I'm a jokester, right? I'm a big, 6'4" teddy bear jokester. On the personal side, I like to joke. Guess what? I might be the guy hiding around the corner and ducking real low. As soon as you come up the stairs, boom! You know, I'm a jokester. I like to have a lot of fun. I'm a movie fanatic. I love movies. I love music. Guess what? Ironically, I love poetry. I love to dress.
Radio.com.
Yes.
Birthday? When's your birthday, Nightmare? What month?
December the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas.
Do you associate more with Capricorn? You full on or on the cusp?
You know, man, my thing on astrology is a lot different. So, you know, I'm a Capricorn, but you know, my mindset on astrology is a lot different.
Do tell.
Talk to us about that. You feel like?
When I say that is, although I'm a Capricorn, right? These is periods of time. We're in the age of Aquarius right now. So the age of the spiritual system, we actually are in the age of the Aquarius, when logic and truth is going to take care of us.
Mm-hmm. Got it. We should send that to the White House.
Right?
Logic and truth. It's going to take care of us.
As if he's going to believe that.
Absolutely.
He still believes, no, this is all rigged.
It's just crazy.
I don't even
So you're a music lover, Nightmare, right?
Love
Tell us, what's your favorite song?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I like a lot of R&B. I like a lot of hip hop. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of this new music, new rap music, I probably like maybe 10% of this new stuff. But the old stuff, old hip hop, old R&B, I like 90% of that. I can't get this. I guess this audio tone sound that everyone's using. I can't get with
Auto-tune.
Auto-tune. Auto what?
I can't get with it.
That can't get you with it.
I mean, to each his own. I respect it though. I respect it, but even as far as fashion, you know what I mean? I know they have feminized a lot of fashion. I guess what? It's a rarity going inside a store that you can find that's not skinny jeans.
What is up with the skinny jeans?
Are you a skinny jean wearer, Gerald Tapper?
Absolutely. But you know what, though? Check it out. I know I'm 58 years old. Some of my friends laugh at me because I wear skinny jeans. But in my house, I got two big body size mirrors, right? I don't care what nobody's saying. My skinny jeans, I got them legs for skinny jeans, brother. I'm telling you, I got them legs. I got some big old calves, and they be like pa-pow, and I'm bow-legged, pa-pow. So the the skinny jeans be looking all right on me. I don't give a, you know, call me a young boy, call me, you know, past my time or whatever.
I respect it though.
I'm rocking the skinny jeans. And you know what? You know what? I can totally flip one day, tomorrow maybe, Chris, I might flip and say, you know what? That's enough. But I'm not wearing the baggies no more.
No. I ain't doing no baggy. No baggy. No baggy for me. Nah. Just regular fit. Just fitting is good. No
Fit,
baggy.
regular
Boot
fit.
cut. Remember
Boot
that? The
cut. Boot
fit.
cut. Right.
What you got?
Well, I think, you know, inquiring minds for the ladies out here, as Gerald said, we want to know. So, what is your idea of a very romantic date?
Ooh.
My idea of a very romantic date is dining outside. Outside, number one, love nature. Could be maybe some live music playing, you know, live jazz band playing. Guess what? I would think it's nice outside. A woman got sandals on. I love feet. I'm a feet man. Okay, I love that. I love a woman to sit there and relax while let me feed her. I'm gonna tell you something I really, really like though. You'd be surprised. I think what's romantic is if a woman's eating and I got a book and I'm reading her a story while she's eating. I think that's smooth right there.
I gotta go back east. I gotta go back east. It looks like back
going
east.
back.
That knowledge didn't transfer out here to the West Coast.
West Coast.
No. Keep talking. Nightmares. There you go.
Listen, Linda.
Listen.
There's
A lot of people need to listen.
I like to read novels.
See?
So,
What's
I
your
like to
favorite
read-
novel?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Mm.
It's one novel called Desperate Measures. It's really, really deep. And this novel's about this secretary who was working for the boss, and she had a crush on the boss the whole time. Boss never looked at her, but he was going through trials and tribulations with his wife, and all of a sudden, I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it's really, really, really beautiful. It's real sensual.
Yeah.
Desperate Measures.
Desperate Measures.
Yeah.
All right. Desperate Measures.
Uh-huh.
Did they make a movie out of that?
Yeah, I seen a book, something like
No,
that.
not that I know of. It's a
Measures.
beautiful-
Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
They do. Desperate times will call for desperate measures.
Seen 'em.
Okay. Well, that's great. You like romance, outside dining, reading, feeding
I
her?
watch a lot of some of the guys I look up to, great leaders or great orators or speakers too. For instance, the late great Khalid Muhammad, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I watch even after he's gone. He's gone. I watch a lot of his stuff. Fearless. I'm a big fan of Louis Farrakhan. Watch a lot of his stuff. I'm a big fan of my fellow partner from your city, Philly, Dr. Umar Johnson. He know me. What's up, Jermaine? When I say Jermaine, that's his government name. But y'all know him as Umar, but I know him as Jermaine.
Yes.
Dr. Umar Johnson. He's a Pan-African nationalist. That's my brother.
Okay. Wow.
So, Big Tap, what is your idea of a romantic date?
Man, y'all put me on this now. I gotta try to outdo my man Chris. How do you do that? A romantic date to me is just, I guess, going on a date. I do the outside. Our dinner is good, but my whole thing somehow involved music in it, because my romantic date for her is doing a little performance for her. Dance or sing. You know,
That's what you think.
Dancing. There we go.
Lord, you can get a little live entertainment.
You know, just sing her a romantic song or just show her how happy I am to be with her. That's a romantic. When she sees how I feel about being with her, and if the more encouragement she gives me, the better I get. And I think a romantic date is I've learned kind of recently, I heard is to don't be in a rush. A romantic date is to be laid back. Because the mere fact, I finally realized that after all these years, that if she's out on a date with you, then she's giving you a shot. You ain't gotta have your fangs out on the first date. So if you can just show a coolness and just a laid back atmosphere, but then throw a little bit of entertainment in it, that's a romantic date because you ain't really pressing it. When you don't feel like you pressing it, I've gotten lately a lot of more attention from not, all my life I've pressed. I don't press no more. I guess because I'm old, but I don't press no more, you know?
Naturally to you now,
Go
Joe, is
ahead,
that
Big
what you're
Mac.
saying?
Not Big Tap, but go ahead, Big Mac.
You know, it took me 50 something years to not, it took me 50 something years, Chris, to not to have my fangs out. Because, you know, black women, because that's all I mostly date. I was thinking I was contemplating on going on the other side, get me a couple snow bunnies, but then that kind of wore off quick. That wore off quick, brother. So, but one thing about black women, man, they can bring the best out of you, man.
Here we
Big
go.
Mood. All right.
They can
You
bring
act like it's some sort of a
What?
species to be. You
What
don't
is that?
understand.
I act like it's some sort of what? Yeah,
Like it's some sort of like a
Like it's a plague.
safari prep thing. Like when you go there and when you see the black woman, this is what you do.
Roll up your windows.
I can say I'm old fashioned.
Well, hold on.
I am old fashioned. I like an old fashioned gal because I'm old fashioned.
Yeah, see?
There you go. Great qualities.
Yeah, just sit back and let the man take the lead. Okay, this is what I was gonna ask. Oh my god, I had it on here.
What happened?
No, I wanted to ask, Gerald, you secondary, the role of the black woman. What is that role in your opinion? Nightmare. What is our role?
The
From
role
a
of the black
5%.
woman.
Yes, sir.
Through the lens of a 5%er.
Yeah, she's the nurturer of children. Okay, number one, she's the manager of the male's spirit. There's a war going on outside that nobody's safe from. So she's supposed to help manage the spirit. Number one, she's supposed to be the nurturer of the children. Okay, she's supposed to be the intelligent one. Okay, not the final say so, but the intelligent one to help him make the final decision. She's the divine mother. She's the creator. She helps keep the nation together. Also, I honor a woman having more creativity than a man, as far as interior decorating and things of that nature. Honestly, we couldn't tie a woman's shoes, but when it comes to war and battle, identity and legacy, that's when a man takes place. I believe there's nothing more important in a man's life than identity and legacy, and also the woman has to help manage that as well, as far as the children as well too. So I think it's a healthy balance. I think most important also is morals. I'm an old school guy, a lot of morals. I hear a lot of times women are talking about, well, I'm independent, and that's fine, but society has taught the women to be like that so much that when an alpha male comes around, she's actually holding on to roles that then becomes almost a tug of war. We'll let her know, I understand what you've been through, but you no longer have to do that. And I can show you, I can lead, queen. And we don't have enough of that as well, too. There's been a lot of men in the penitentiary, dead, on drugs, things like that. So these women nowadays were forced to take on these roles, and I commend them. But just for the record, all the alpha males ain't locked up or dead. Here I go. And they go big tap right there. So you guys step aside, let us take the garbage out.
Everything you said,
and bring the food in.
everything you said is on point. I mean, 200. You know what I mean, brother? I mean, because that's exactly how I would put it. And, being that I've been on my own for the past, I have 3 kids, Chris, and I'm separated, and I've been on my own. And I would say the one thing that I know of that my wife had learned since we've been separated that wasn't going well, when you said the tug of war began, we was going through all that, brother. But one thing she knows since we've been separated, that I always been that leader. And you know what? That's enough for me. Everything else, I'm humble now because I know she knows I've been that leader. So everything else, I'll let her figure it out. I'm figuring myself out. I hope she's figuring herself. I know she is. She's moved on or whatever. I don't know. But I know one thing. She knows the way I've been carrying myself and what I've been doing for our children. I'm that leader. Always been.
That's right,
and
brother.
Everything you said, though, otherwise, man, you know, you got a good perspective in life. You got a good way you look at things, man. Very good way. Beautiful way, man. Keep it up, brother.
No doubt. Salute, Big Tap.
Yeah.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Lori Ray, what you thinking right now?
Well, I'm looking to you for opinions, Nightmare. I love what you said about relationships, about roles in those relationships, right? What but then when you look around, I think that there's a great deal of struggle with women and men finding love or finding those partners, right? I was thumbing through TV earlier today, and there's the show called Ready to Love. Have you guys ever heard that on Oprah Winfrey's channel?
Yeah.
And it's a group of all of these African American men and women who just really want a partner, and they're going through this elimination. What advice would you give to couples, or individuals, young and old, wanting to find a couple and wanting to navigate and journey through this thing called life together?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. A lot of men and women are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. So a lot of times we were taught to survive, so we're not taught how to love. So I think male and female should at least yield to each other. While we're healing, we need to yield and bond and build. See, the struggle comes when one person or the other are not yielding. And so a lot of times when a person not yielding, you know what I mean, all of a sudden it's a tug of war. But we're all suffering from the same common problems, post-traumatic slave syndrome. So I think, you know, I mean, the most important part is patience. Be patient. This man may have not had a father in his life. This woman might have had a problem with her mother. Be patient, yield. Conversation is everything. Communication is imperative. Lack of communication, I think most things can be resolved through communication.
All the time. From our Facebook panelists, I have Joe Kane in the house. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you tonight.
Hey, Joe.
You say hey to Joe?
Hey, Joe.
So anyway, so Joe says that we are supposed to be who we are. Roles should not be solely based on gender. I do not want a woman or anyone cooking for me because he's the better cook. All right, Joe. Thank you, Mr. K.
Man,
Go get him.
got
Remember that? Go get
confidence.
him, Kay.
Okay, I will
Go
give
do
him
your
that. He
thing.
got confidence.
Just so everybody know, I'm just going to give a little legendary history from the city of Compton, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Kane was a star at our high school. Joe Kane, I can't remember. He went from Compton High School directly to the NFL. Joe, bear with me. I don't recall exactly where he went, but he went from SC. Where did he go to SC? Anyway, Joe Kane, NFL, Compton High School. I just wanted to say hey to you. It's good to see that you're tuning in. And I do see that you do your cooking channel. So Lori and I just want to give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe Kane. And so we had a cheer. Lori and I were both cheerleaders in high school. And so it's in my head. Go get him, Kane. Go do your thing. I can't get it out of my head. And so we was a cheerleader. So that year, it was like he was the senior year there. See, he's giving us love. He loves us.
We love you, Joe. So
and
much.
that year, Joe Kane was the star. And it was
the star.
Go get him. And it was go get him, Kane. Hey, go do your thing. You remember that? They can act like you're crazy. Trust me, King Stallworth. Shout out to
I'm a
Joe
lot older
King.
than you.
I had a good time in high school. I just want to tell you that.
Shout
Compton,
out Kane,
1985.
Wells, K&E.
CAIN.
Huh?
CAI.
Joe
Huh, 85, huh?
CAIN.
You telling your age,
That's
huh?
it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I was around with the dinosaurs, Chris. So there we go. There we go.
Those are good times.
But that's an interesting thing. What do you guys think about that, gentlemen? Um,
But,
of
honestly, I salute him if he want to be doing the cooking, but you can look at it objectively or subjectively, but I
Mhm.
respect if the brother wants to do the cooking. That's he might give the lady a break. So that's a beautiful thing as well.
right.
What do you think, Tab?
No, I saw how you was aspirated about that. You was like, yeah.
For me? Exactly. Oh my God. You guys have no idea. I don't bring all that here. So
The cooking.
take you to the next
I'm on
level.
strike. I don't cook anymore.
Found him.
Oh, you found Joe. Yay.
You
Yeah.
found Joe King?
Yeah, so he played for the Minnesota Vikings in 1988, played for the Seattle Seahawks from 1989 to 1992, played for the Chicago Bears from 1993 to 1996,
That's right.
and then finished his career with the Seattle Seahawks in 1997.
Woo, go Joe.
Compton. Good things come from our city.
And now he
Is Joe still on? Is he still on?
Yeah,
He's on
in
Facebook.
Facebook.
yeah,
Is
he's
that-
in executive
Ask
chef.
Joe. He friends with Roy Barker.
Okay. You guys go and I'll
Not
talk to Joe.
Barksdale.
Rod
Roy,
Barksdale. What?
Roy Barker.
Barker.
Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, Roy Barker.
Okay.
And San Francisco 49ers, yup.
All right.
So
He probably know.
he does. Yeah, he probably does. So
Mhm.
I here at the Poetry of Justice show, Nightmare, we talk a lot about community building, and what can we do as individuals to kind of help support and uplift our community. I'm interested through your lens, particularly being on the East Coast, and we're on the West Coast. Jackie and I and Tap is on the East Coast. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges that faces the Black community?
I think uniting and supporting Black businesses. I believe that because we got a lot of individuals when I'm around got a crab in a bucket mentality. People who look like you, smell like you, and grew up with you, sometimes if they're doing well, you're kind of angry because you could have done what they done, but you fail to do that. So you don't spend your money with it. You go somewhere else, you're Japanese or Chinese, or spend that money, and because you don't want to feel guilty that this person got further along than you. But guess what? If you unite, you can speak about the same blueprint, and we can build and come up together. And it's too much a crab in the bucket mentality. People where I'm in my city, I see a lot of that. It's really, really challenges. Even women need to support other women also, and have support groups and bring each other up. You got a lot of women who might have challenged self-esteem and might feel threatened by another woman, and all of a sudden, there's cat fights and the children suffer. Then our community suffer. And so we got to break these generational curses. These men got to start talking to these women, letting them know that you are queens, you are divine mothers. These brothers got to start picking each other up, letting them know, my brother, I need you. Today's the day I'm going to be committed to compliment you. My brother, you're getting stronger. I support you, my brother. Togetherness, unity. And then when these men and women get together, I'm going to say, queen, we get the same common denominator. It's a war going on outside, nobody's safe from. I need you, queen. And when these women speak up and they speak likewise, okay, guess what? Right there, you know what I mean? That upsets the devil now, because now, we're not distracted through jealousy and anger and hurt and all this other stuff. Now we get a chance of being something and raising up something. That's what I believe. That's where it starts at.
Right. Building a new nation. What are you thinking about that, Joe? We
And
have
I
to
agree
do it.
with
Now is the time.
I agree with him.
Yeah, no, now is definitely the time. I feel it's just like this essence of community that's calling, like being a light
It
worker for
is.
the world. You know what I'm saying? Because like we've not, I mean, there's a pandemic happening. There's so many factors, in my opinion. And when else are we going to do it? I mean, the presidency that's currently still sitting, I mean, this MAGA and Make America Great Again was just a
My
tragic reminder.
Yeah.
that we're really not that far away of where we thought we had come from, and it's
Mhm.
really not. It's just really not, you know what I mean? And for us to just to continue to act like nothing, it just can't happen anymore.
Right,
You
and
know
it's
what I'm
like,
saying?
there is a time where we do want to have this era of community and togetherness, but the overall American, they are individualists. They like to do things on their own. They like to listen to their own rules. They like to not listen to anybody else.
Mhm.
I mean, why else do you think during this pandemic we have one of the highest numbers?
It's startling.
It's because we believe in the American freedom. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe that our freedom precedes all, and that in fact our freedom of speech means that we can do whatever we want without consequence.
Yeah. But there's a higher power and that higher source, and there's a day of reckoning and balances and reconciliations, I tend to think. And now is our time for us to gather as a nation of people, and really the each one teach one, all the cliches. We just got to make it happen. What do you think about that, Nightmare? Which is why I reached out to you, because change has come and we've got to spread the word. It's our duty. It's really our duty. It's like one of our missions and purposes for this life. I know I've been doing a lot of study, just self-care, self-reflection, like that, getting naked in my own mind to see who am I, what am I, and what's my purpose here from these days forward. And they are to be a light worker and for us to change as many lives as we can.
I agree. Especially with the brother Rashid said, a lot of people are thinking from an individual mindset instead of a nationalist. But with all decisions comes with an invoice. And so if we realize with all personal decisions comes with a big invoice, if we hold each other accountable and we come together nationally, all of a sudden, we get a whole wave of changes that we all on the same accord. And that's what needs to happen.
Nightmare, in your opinion, what would be one small step that all of our listeners could take to try to move as a body of people toward this concept of unity you shared with us?
Right now, it should be too hard. With COVID-19 being at its all-time highest, my question is, how is there remotely any space for beef, anger, hostility, jealousy, or hate? What is an invisible killer out there that no one's safe from?
I know.
I mean, we actually learned that during the one of the recent versus battles between Gucci Man and Jeezy, where their beef went deep.
Hmm.
But during the end of that versus, they actually, after 20 years, finally actually squashed that beef, saying that, yo, in fact, there are things that are going on in this world that's bigger than us, and that we need to come together as black men and actually, turn things around, especially for this next generation. We need to be better. We need
Yeah,
to show that we can be better.
I agree.
That's very interesting, Rashid, because maybe that is one step that we could challenge all of our listeners is to take the moment to reconcile at least one um, difference of opinion that you have with someone.
Nightmare, I have a question for you. We are nearing our departure hour. I want to say from Facebook before we do that, we've got a little bit of time, but I want to say that Joe Kane says that we need to figure out a way to wake people up from a slumber of materialism, pop culture, hate,
Mhm.
and anger. So,
Mhm.
like you were talking about that anger, Nightmare.
Mhm.
So, based on that and the activity that we have going on, we've got people that are still joining us. Shout out to Tweet Cadillac, baby. How you doing tonight? I just wanted to say that will you come back again and join us here on the Poetry of Justice show, Nightmare Stallworth?
I absolutely would love to, and I will, Queen.
Thank
Because you want to let me,
you.
because sometimes we have very
Yeah, we're
specific
putting
topics.
together some things for the new year where we want to have some panel discussions and really talk about change in our community, enlighten our listeners about a myriad of topics. One of the things that you said that I would love to center a show around is about our healthy eating right?
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
how we can employ that. And oftentimes in in urban communities, you hear, I don't have the money for that. I can't buy the best cut of meat, or I can't buy this, or I can't buy that. And so to educate our communities about what they can do, and based on their family budget, how they can definitely eat healthy, and small changes lead to big results and rewards. So we have a What's Going On show that we're planning for the new year. And we would love to have you join us.
Yes. Count me in, ladies.
Amazing.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I thank you for coming tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I have a birthday coming, guys. I'm gonna be
Jackie does have a birthday.
When, how much, and how old I'm gonna be, but Monday, everybody, it's got my we got back loud in the studio. Can you put the sound back around the studio, Ron?
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, guys. So Monday, guys, December 7th is your girl's birthday. I'm going to have a great time. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. I'm going to take us out with something kind of fun, guys. You know what? Because we have a guest tonight who I appreciate, and I just want to floss a little bit too. I'm going to just be 100 with it. So I got something for you, Nightmare. I'm going to put my headphones back on so I can hear myself flow it down for you. Okay. So, on the Poetry of Justice show with Jackie Ray Phillips, I'm going to send this one to you tonight. It's called In the Belly. In the belly of the love land, does innocent souls meet, dancing above the sheets, seductive, exotic, and free. It's that belly of the love land, souls that are so deep and primitive, certain glands begin to secrete. In that belly of the love land, let it take you there without a worry, without one single care, dancing in the pale moonlight, in the belly of the love land. Will she be free, exotic, and sultry? Will she ever be free from the belly of the love land? That is she. It's free. The belly, the love land, and me. The poetess reigns. Thank you guys so much. I thank you. I give to you. Thank you so much, Nightmare Stallworth. Any parting words for us tonight, Mrs. Stallworth?
I salute y'all from the bottom of my heart. Guess what? Like she said, each one teach one. Please, guys, stay healthy, stay calm this day and age, stay protected, and keep doing what you're doing. And last but not least, this goes for everyone. Support Black business, guys. Big tap, one love, baby boy. I salute you, God.
Nightmare, you should consider, man, getting on more show podcasts, man, because the way you express yourself has to be heard, brother.
I
More
appreciate
people
it.
you gotta get out to the masses somehow. Just consider it, man. I know you busy, but you know, on our show, you definitely coming back. But other shows, just you know, think about that, man, because you have to be heard by the people. Listen, I gotta make a run. Yo, it's a pleasure meeting you, brother.
All
I
right,
love
Tap.
you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
I love you, brother.
See you later. It was nice to see you. I'll talk to you later, Nightmare, okay?
All right. Thank you so much, Nightmare.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night, ladies and gents.